The future looks bright in the year of 2025 for movies, and these are my top 10 most anticipated of the year. I want to give a quick honourable mention to a movie at number 11 called Warfare from A24. It looks like it's going to be a harrowing experience coming from a real veteran and his real experience in the war zone. This will not be an easy watch, but one hell of an experience. Coming in here at number 10 we have Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Although I've never been huge on these films, I have massive respect for Tom Cruise and everything that he puts into this role. Practically all of these films have amazing iconic set pieces, and I can only imagine what Mr. Cruise himself has in store for us fans for the last outing. And at number 9 here we have something a little bit different, Death of a Unicorn. I pretty much just randomly came across this movie on YouTube spotting a trailer and noticing Paul Rudd. I am a massive fan and I want to watch anything that man is in. This movie just looks totally bizarre and probably more than likely maybe just a little bit like Cocaine Bear but with a unicorn instead. A little bit of a popcorn flick perhaps, but that is sometimes all that you need. Yeah, at number 8 we've got The Smashing Machine. I've recently released a video on Dwayne Johnson, and if you haven't seen it, I do recommend checking it out, where we speculate on the fact of whether or not he's the devil. I mentioned how his roles, at least as of late, blend all into one, and not really standing out and showing, I'm sure, his capability as an actor. Playing a legend in the UFC, and this movie could perhaps be on the level of The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. And who's directing it, I can imagine it's going to have that very same tone. I'm ready for it. Next up we have Sinners. A massive shout out to the Movie Man, of course, who put me onto this movie after watching one of his latest videos. I never heard of it up until that moment, and I had to pop on the trailer, and yeah, this looks up my alley. I cannot wait for this. Of course, Michael B. Jordan, coming from director Ryan Coogler. Not much more really needs to be said on it apart from them two amazing names. But after watching the trailer, it just looks very mysterious. From what I've been reading, it's a vampire flick, and I just love the whole tone of the movie that it's clearly going for. And even not as a big massive vampire fan, this has piqued my interest. And at number 6 we've got The Monkey. Tampering my expectations just a little bit because this is the director who done Longlegs. I was really looking forward to that film and it just wasn't what I was hoping for. Though it must be said, the trailer looks absolutely bonkers insane with some really creative kills, no doubt, and yeah, it's going to be pretty violent. It has my curiosity and I'm sure it's going to be a bloody good time. At the halfway point we've got 28 Years Later. Gathering from the trailer, which I think has really piqued interest in a lot of people, it's going to be rather brutal, along with dark and twisted and really quite depressing from the looks of it. Seemingly starring Aaron Taylor Johnson as the lead, hopefully after Craven. This is going to help propel his career further and leave that in the dust. Number 4 we have Ballerina. This was a tough pick. I love John Wick and anything to do with that world. I am there day one. This was higher on the list, but just the ones coming up after this have pushed it out just that little bit. Getting a little sneak peek into the world of these ballerinas in John Wick 2, and who better than Ana de Armas to play that role. She absolutely stole the show in No Time to Die, and I just think that she fits perfectly here in this role. And let's have a little bit of a toast to an undoubtedly kick-ass scene with her and John Wick himself. And at number 3 we have the first entry, at least film-wise, into James Gunn's new DCU, Superman. Batman is, at least for me, my personal favourite superhero, and Superman would probably be at number 4 or 5 even. After the trailer though, that really shot up my interest in this film and I adored everything that I witnessed there. I enjoyed the dark tone a lot more, which is why I did really enjoy Batman vs Superman. I think this is going to have a good mix of the two. It's not going to be too Marvel, like where bored as comedy most of the time, and it's not going to be really quite depressing like a lot of what Zack Snyder has brought in the past. I have faith in this. Looks special. A lot of people probably aren't going to believe this, but in at number 2, and I am being serious, is Happy Gilmore 2. Oh yeah! I cannot wait for this film. I was a little bit nervous, don't get me wrong. Happy Gilmore 1 is probably maybe be top 10 comedies at the very least. Well, after the little glimpse that we did get on, I think it was New Year's Eve, I have a lot of faith now in what Adam Sandler is going to do with this film. And with amazing returns like Shooter McGavin and MJF making his appearance here, I have no doubt he's going to be a great villain, and I can't wait to see what is on offer. Well, here we are at number 1 is Popeye the Slayer Man. No, that wouldn't even be on a top 1000 list. Really, it is Havoc. The Raid movies are impeccable action flicks, and why do I mention the Raid movies? Well, because it is the director of them. Combined with Tom Hardy in the lead role, this is a dream made in heaven, and if I was to make a movie, it would probably be Tom Hardy in the lead role with a Raid-like action movie. Even to this day, and as much as I do love John Wick, I think the Raid 2 and Raid 1 action sequences are just not anywhere near touched. Another shout to Josh from Throughout the Lens, kind of I guess, because he deflated us a little bit. I heard that this obviously had in the past been, delayed for like 3 years, which does dampen me expectation a little bit, but you put Tom Hardy and this director together. All aboard the hype train, people. I'm very much looking forward to this film. If it comes out in 2025, fingers crossed. So that is my top 10 list of 2025 that hopefully is coming up. But let me know, what is your list down in the comments. I've already seen some amazing ones, but what are your thoughts on some of these movies if you haven't heard of them? Check out the trailers, look it up, what it's all about, and I will see you in the next video. But if you enjoyed this list, why not check out my many other lists that are on the channel, or hey, maybe even a little surprise that's going to be at the top. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you hopefully in one of these.